Hello, this is a video on rough mixing and a brief overview on it. So once you've recorded everything you have to record for your session, this would be the time to complete your rough mix. Rough mix is in between recording and your mixing stage. You can think of the rough mix as preparing yourself for the mixing process. So before you start to mix, make sure that you have set up your session properly and it's organized. You've cleaned up any tracks, you've trimmed the tops and tails, got rid of any unwanted noise, you've set up your routing and buses, and you've ensured that all of your tracks are not clipping and that your faders are balanced. Now we're going to break down each one of those steps. So for session setup and organization, are all of your tracks named properly? You might name them something really quick and easy to understand while you're recording, but make sure that for the rough mix you have them all named properly so that if anyone else who wasn't a part of your recording process comes in to look at your session, they can easily tell what each track is. Is the location of your project file correct? Is it accidentally saved somewhere where you won't be able to find it? Make sure that it's saved into the dedicated folder for your project. Are all of your tracks organized by color? This is up to personal preference. I have all of my drum tracks always labeled in blue. I have my vocal tracks always labeled in pink. This just helps me visually understand what I have in front of me, and it helps me work faster. Have you created your master fader yet? It's pretty important. And have you applied song selection markers where necessary? If you're recording a traditional song, do you have each of your choruses marked? Do you have each of your verses marked? Your bridge? Make sure that's all set up now. And cleaning up tracks. Remove any unused tracks that you had for your recording stage that you aren't going to be able to use now. Remove any unused tracks that are in the way and that they're just kind of taking up space and they won't be used. Trim any unwanted noise and silence, so trim the tops and the tails of your tracks. Maybe in the middle of some of your tracks there's just silence. Get rid of that now, it's not doing you any good. Comp your takes, which is choosing the best take. Maybe you have 5 different versions of your drum section. Comp those, pick out the best parts, and add them together. Then apply any necessary fades. And then just to further elaborate on comping, these are some key command shortcuts you can use. Comping is taking multiple different takes of one recording. Say we're recording our drum section. We're taking 5 different recordings of those takes. We're going to comp together the best parts. We're not going to use the not so good parts. And these are some shortcuts you can use to comp. So the first one is Command, Control, Option, and apostrophe. And this lets you move the selection forward by the selection amount. And then Control P and also Control semicolon. These allow you to move the cursor up and down throughout the playlist lanes. And Shift S lets you solo the playlist lane containing the edit cursor. And Option Control V lets you copy the selection to the target playlist. For buses and routing, have you grouped all of your tracks properly? Do you have your drum group, your main vocal group, your guitar group, whatever you would need for this session? Are the necessary subgroups created? Do you have any effect sends set up if you need any? Make sure you get that done. And are the necessary aux tracks created? Are you going to create an aux track for your drum section, for your main vocal section? Are you going to set up an aux track for reverb? And then signal balancing. Are all of your tracks globally reduced to leave headroom? This means that whatever the faders are at now, bring it down just a little bit so that there's a little bit of headroom so that while you're mixing some of your tracks, they might increase in volume a little bit. Leave them that room so that they can increase without clipping. Have you corrected any obvious unwanted sounds? Maybe there's some phase issues or you have like a cough somewhere in some of your tracks. Get rid of that. And to elaborate on correcting obvious unwanted sounds, that might include manual editing, which is trimming the tops and tails of your tracks, maybe removing silence. Gating includes removing mic bleed and other unwanted noise. I often use gates to remove mic bleed in my drum tracks. I have mic bleed a lot when I'm recording a whole drum kit. But gating can also remove other unwanted noise, like say someone closes a door and that picked up in the background of it. You can use a gate to remove that. And then corrective EQ, this is removing unwanted frequencies. Maybe there's some harsh frequencies that you want to get rid of, maybe some phase issues as well. And then using noise removal plugins. One of them, a great one, is Isotope RX. This allows you to remove specific unwanted noise in your recordings. There's a bunch of different noise removal plugins. Isotope is just one of the more popular ones. Do any of your tracks need to be panned, left or right? And also to further elaborate on panning. So this picture right here is part of a stereo track. You know it's stereo because it has 2 panning knobs, one for left and one for right, and they're both panned hard left and hard right because the numbers are at 100 right now. Mono tracks only have one pan knob, and you can still pan them hard left or hard right. Stereo tracks, like this one right here, they have 2 pan knobs. By hitting Option and then clicking on the knob, it resets the dial back to midnight, which would put it at 0, and you would just click and drag the knobs to the left or to the right to move audio in the stereo field. Panning allows you to pan audio one way or another to kind of give you a sense of space. By panning, you can create a stereo image, you can add some clarity, you can blend some tracks together. You can also automate a pan to create some movement, like if you have a vocal track and for one part of your song you want one vocal to be completely on the left, you can automate that pan to slowly move over to the left. And are any of your tracks clipping? So this picture right here is an example of a clipping track. Although the fader is set at 0, the meter right here is all the way up into the red. This is a clipping track. This picture right here shows a meter that's way too low. Although the fader is at 0, you can barely hear what's coming out of this track, so probably raise that fader up a little bit. And this picture right here shows a well-balanced track. You have the fader at 0 and the meter is coming in at like 9 decibels. I kind of like to keep my tracks in between like 10 and 5 decibels. Once you have completed all of these steps, you have properly prepared yourself for your mixing process, and you're all set to mix. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next video when we talk about the mixing process.